Soft modding your Wii opens you up to the whole range of Wii and GameCube games that you ever wanted to play. ModMii makes the whole process as fast, easy and secure as possible. So let me show you how to hack your Wii with ModMii. Hi and welcome to Bytes and Bits. Hacking your Nintendo Wii is a great way to explore the full potential of this fantastic little console. So with that you can download games, put them onto a USB drive, and then basically have access to the full Wii and GameCube catalogue. Plus it also allows you to install a number of other retro console emulators, so you can play a full range of those, all the way up to sort of Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1. But the whole hacking process is reasonably complicated. There's a number of files to download, you need to put them in the correct places on various USB and SD cards, and it can then take a bit of time. So this is where a package called ModMii comes to the rescue, where it's going to make that whole process a lot easier and a lot faster. Now, and unfortunately, ModMii is a Windows-only package, so Mac and Linux users, I'm afraid this isn't going to be for you. But if you are on Windows then, this can be a great way to get not only a lot of the work done for you, but because the package has been put together by somebody who really knows how to set up the Wii in this homebrew situation, you're going to, in effect, have them personally walk you through an installation for your Wii. So let's get started and have a look at how we can use ModMii then to hack our Nintendo Wii. First, we need to get hold of ModMii. Now, although this is a simple file download, it can be a bit tricky depending on your PC security software. So ModMii is downloaded from its GitHub repository page at this address. Now there's lots of information on here about the app, so please do have a look through to see what it can do and how you might want to use it. It is actually covering a whole range of different tasks that you might want to carry out in hacking your Wii and modding it. But if we go a bit lower down on the page, we'll actually get to the download links that we're after. Now, my advice is to download the portable version, as this we can just simply put in its own folder and it will then work as a standalone application. And you don't then need to go through any of the actual installation process. But obviously the installation file is there for you if you do want to use that. Now, downloading the files can get blocked by both your browser and your antivirus software. So the package contains a number of command line utilities bundled up inside the archive, and I guess that's what probably makes it look a bit suspicious. Now, I have found the files to be completely safe, and I've scanned them with my Norton antivirus, and that of course is as long as you make sure you download them directly from this GitHub page. But of course, I can't make any guarantees, and you are doing this all at your own risk, so do be aware of that. We are going to bypass our PC security checks, so if you are at all unsure about this, please do stop and use another method. And I do have a video that shows you how to manually hack your Wii, so please use that if you're not too keen on doing this. So if we use our browser, and I'm using Google Chrome here, if that does block your download, you're going to need to go into your download list and then tell it to accept this file even though it's been marked as dodgy. Now, as well as this then, so that will get through your browser download, but sometimes then your internet security software will actually remove the file and put it into its quarantine section. And I did have this happen when this brand new file was first launched and Norton didn't have any background behind the file. So if that does happen, you will need to go into your quarantine area and then restore the file. But in the end, you should then be able to force this file to be downloaded and saved onto your PC. So if you've downloaded the portable version like I have, you'll end up with a zip archive file on your PC, and you'll simply need to extract that somewhere sensible so that we can actually get to the files. If you've downloaded the installation exe file, then just run that and install the code. So we should end up then with a folder, again, if you're following me through here with the portable version on your PC, and inside that you'll find there are two versions of the app ready for use. Now, one of these is a GUI version, which is supposed to make it easier by providing you with a number of mouse clicks to get through the system, but I actually think that's a little bit harder to use as it doesn't give you quite as much information about what's going on. So I'm here going to run the main app, and then I'm going to take you through that. So if we double click the app, a blue window should pop up with some instructions. So this app is basically going to take you through a number of these choice pages to work out what needs to be done, and it will then assemble your files for you. So this first screen is really just to get you to accept responsibility for what you're doing. So as with all system hacks on the Wii, there is a small chance that you're going to break your console, so do be aware of that. So the first option screen then is really to allow you to tell the app what you want to do. So as you can see, there are a whole range of hacking utilities built into ModMii. Now, I'm not going to be covering them in this video, so we're just going to go through the first option here, W, which will start the ModMii wizard. The next page then is to check to see if you are hacking from scratch, or if you simply want to update the hack on an existing soft-modded Wii. Now, either way, we can just simply choose yes here. So if your Wii is already modded, this will overwrite everything with the latest hacks, but that will need you then to reinstall your games and set up your loaders. But of course, it will bring everything up to date. So if you have been having any issues with the machine, then this can be a great option to clear out any errors. So now we need to tell ModMii what our current Wii menu version is. So to find this out, you need to power up your Wii console and click the Wii button on the home screen, and then go into the Wii settings. You should then see the version number for your Wii menu with a letter after it. So this letter is the region code, and we'll need that in a second. So now you can tell ModMii what version you have, and then after that, it will ask you what region your Wii is currently set to on the next page. So next, we need to select the hack that we're going to use. So to hack a Wii, we have to fool it into loading a piece of software that will override the operating system. And there are a number of ways that this can be done. So depending on your Wii menu version, you'll have a few choices. So there are a couple which are the ones which I would advise you to have a look at. So first off, we have the STR2 hacks, which is actually a very easy hack to use, but it will only work if you can connect your Wii to the internet. Now, it's best if you can use an SD card with this hack, but it is the only hack that doesn't need one to actually complete. So if your SD card slot is broken, or you just simply don't have an SD card to use, then choose this hack method. Now, I'm not going to use this hack method in this video, but please do have a look at my manual hack video where I did use this hack, and that will walk you through the whole process, and it will be identical in this video as well. Now, the one which I am going to use in this video is the WiiBrand, and you'll see for my version 4.3 menu, it's offering the WiiBrand or the LetterBomb hack, and both of these are equally as easy. But of course, they do then require an SD card to be inserted into the front SD card slot of your Wii. So for my setup, I'm just simply going to select this, and later on then I will actually use this WiiBrand version. Now there is another option down here which does let you actually install all of the hacks, and that is a good one if you want to decide later on. So basically it will collect all the files you need to do whatever hack you want, and then you can try them out later on. Not every hack will work for every Wii, so if you do find that one doesn't work, then obviously you need to try a different one, and this can be a good option in that particular situation. So the next page then, because I've chosen the WiiBrand and LetterBomb hacks, I'm going to have to tell the system what my Wii MAC address is. Now again, you're going to have to find this on your Wii itself, so you need it powered up. Go back into the Wii settings, then into your internet settings, and then to your console information, and you'll see your MAC address listed there. So make a note of that and then type it into the ModMii app itself. So our next page then of options, is asking us if we need to install or refresh the Wii iOS files, and these are part of its operating system. Now at this point, we are going to have the option of upgrading our Wii to the latest released version of the menu system, which of course is the 4.3 menu. Now if your Wii is below menu 4.1, then this is where you should really upgrade it. If you're already at 4.1 or 4.2, there's no real need to update, but in general I would advise that you do upgrade to 4.3, but again that's entirely up to you. Now if you don't want to refresh your system, just simply select no, but although my Wii is actually at 4.3, I'm going to say yes to refresh it, just so I can take you through the process. On this next page then, this is where we actually specify the menu that we want to install on our Wii. So again, I'm going to keep mine at 4.3. So following then, we go on and we can now select if there are any of the Wii channels that we want to install. Again, if they're not already installed on your Wii. So I'm just selecting none here. Again, quite a few of these channels are redundant these days. But again, the option is here for you to put them in or not. Now, hacking your Wii lets you also change the way in which your menu system looks. So there are a few choices listed here in ModMii. So do have a look on the YouTube link, which is option www here, to see what they actually look like. And again, you can make your choice if you want to. But I'm just going to simply keep my Wii looking like a Wii, so I'm just going to select no. Next then, we can get ModMii to actually install a USBLoader app, so that we can play downloaded Wii games, or should I say, backups of your purchased Wii games. So again, this is going to be a yes. We next need to choose which one we want to use. So USBLoaderGX is the preferred choice here, and that's what I tend to use as well. But there are other alternatives here, and the Wii Flow one is actually quite a good alternative. But again, I'm just choosing USBLoaderGX. Now, both USBLoaderGX and Wii Flow will both allow you to connect Nintendont, which is the GameCube emulator, and ModMii will actually install that for you during the process. So next then, we can specify where we want to save our game files to. So I'm going to be using a USB hard drive, so I will select USB here. But you can just as easily store your game files directly onto your SD card if you don't want to have multiple drives. Do just make sure, of course, that you use a big enough SD card to hold these games, as they are a couple of gigabytes each. So we're almost there now. This page now is a final check, so have a look through the information to see that you haven't made any mistakes and you've got everything in place. And then we can just simply select yes. And then finally, we need to tell ModMii where to save all of these files that it's going to create for us. Now you can specify your own folder, or I'm just simply going to let it create its own copy to SD folder, which I'll find in that ModMii folder where I extracted my files. And then same goes for our USB drive folders. So again, I'm just going to use the copy to USB setting, and again that will create me a folder for my USB drive. So ModMii then just simply lists all of the files and code it's going to generate, and all we need to do now is to select the yes option to let it go off and work its magic. So once the process has finished, you can just simply exit out of ModMii, and we'll then go and have a look at our ModMii folder. So in there we should find a copy to SD folder and a copy to USB folder. Now inside our copy to SD folder, you'll also find then a personalized hacking guide, which is this ModMii wizardguide.html. So if you open that up, it will tell you exactly what you need to do to hack your Wii. So let's get ready now to actually make this hack. So first, we're going to need an SD card and a USB drive to store our files. Now both of these need to be formatted as FAT32 drives and also formatted using a 16 kilobyte cluster size. Now it is important to get this correct, as the Wii can be a bit picky about what drives it can use, especially if you are using larger capacity microSD cards. Now this format that I've said here does give you the best chance of having your drive recognised. Now my advice for formatting your drives is to use a free app called the Mini Tool Partition Wizard, and I've covered this and also how to choose an SD card in my manual hack video, so if you do need more help, please do go and have a look at that, and I'll put some timed links down in the description below. So this app lets you both clean your drives completely in case you've been using them for something like a Raspberry Pi, and also then create the correctly formatted FAT32 partition. Now the standard Windows formatting tool doesn't always create usable drives, so that's why I use this one. So for my setup, I'm using a 64GB micro SD card and also then a 250GB laptop hard drive. So once you've got your drives formatted, you then need to simply just copy over the files. So everything inside the copy to SD card folder needs to be saved into the root of the SD card, and then everything in the copy to USB folder, you need to copy that to the root of your USB drive. So that should give you an SD card that looks like this, and a USB drive that looks like this. So we're now ready to actually do the hack. So the first step is to perform the actual hack itself and install our Homebrew app and our BootMii application. So that will allow us then to go off and install all the rest of the code that's been downloaded for us by ModMii. So first of all, check your ModMii guide before you start to make sure you know what's coming and what information you're going to need. Now for our WiiBrand hack, ModMii has actually prepared everything for us and downloaded all the files we need. So pop your SD card into the front of the Wii and plug your USB drive into USB port 0 at the back of the Wii. So port 0 is the one that's closest to the edge of the Wii. So turn your Wii on and get to the home screen. So the WiiBrand exploit works by adding a message into your message board that when you open it, it triggers the exploit. So if we come along and we go into our message board, if we then go to yesterday's messages, we should find we have this LetterBomb sitting in here. And all we need to do is to open that, and that should then trigger our exploit. So on the screen, it's just giving us a bit of a warning here. We just simply have to wait for a few seconds, about 30 seconds or so, and eventually it will come up with a message to press a button to continue. So once that message comes up, just press the number 1 button, and that will take you into the HackMii installer. So we're now ready to get things installed. So again, we can use the D-pad on our controller. We want to, first of all then, it's going to install the Homebrew channel for us. So just click continue for that. And we can go up here and we can install the Homebrew channel. And yes for that. And once that's installed, click a button again. We now want to install BootMii. So we need to prepare our SD card first of all. And that's okay. And then we want to install BootMii as an iOS. And that will copy our BootMii files across and install that for us. And OK for that. Now at this point, you may have a second option to install BootMii as boot2. Now not all Wiis have that option, but if you do have it, do go through that process. It just adds a little bit of extra protection onto your Wii. But for me, I don't have that, and we're going to get around it in a different way anyway. So let's return back out to the main menu, and we should be then able to exit into Homebrew. And then we have our Homebrew channel all set up. And again, these are the apps then that ModMii has downloaded for us. So we're going to work through a couple of these just to make sure that everything is set up correctly. So the very first thing we want to do is to actually take a backup off our Wii, just in case anything goes wrong further down the line. And that's what we install BootMii for. So if you, on the Homebrew homepage, if you press the home button on your WiiMote, it brings up a menu, and we want to launch BootMii. Now, when we're inside BootMii, our Wii remote isn't going to work anymore, so we're going to use our power and reset buttons on the front of our control panel. So the power button changes the selection, as you can see there, that we're making, and then the reset button will select that. So use the power button to get across the cogs at the right-hand side, then press reset to select that. And then we're going to use the first option here, so again the little green arrow, and that will start the NAND backup. So this process is going to take about 8 or 10 minutes to run through. It does give a color code for each of the blocks it's processed, and it is normal for you to get a number of bad blocks. Eventually that will go through and verify all this, so it should all turn green in the end, but just be aware that the bad blocks are normal. So just let this run through, and that will then create a safe backup, which we can then go and save somewhere just in case anything happens to our Wii. So once everything is correctly verified, we should then be able to hit any button on the front of our panel, and that should take us back to our BootMii menu. So again, we're going to use our power button to go across to the back button, and then come back into our Homebrew channel. We then need to take the SD card out of the Wii, and you can do that while we're still booted up in the Homebrew channel. And then when you're going to save some folders from that, so put it back into your PC and open up the SD card, you'll find a BootMii folder, a NAND.bin, and a keys.bin files. And we just need to save those somewhere safe on your computer. Now these are important files. They are a backup of your Wii, and they will let you recover your Wii if something goes wrong. So please don't lose them. Now once you're sure that you've backed them up, you can either delete them from your SD card, or as I'm doing here, I'm just creating a little backup folder and saving them into that. So next we need to install an app called Priiloader. So Priiloader helps you recover your Wii if you manage to brick it. So bricking it is when you sort of destroy the operating system so that it no longer boots up. So Priiloader loads itself before the main system menu is activated, and that gives you a route back into the system. But it also provides you with a number of very useful hacks to make your modded Wii work so much better. So from the Homebrew app, launch the Priiloader installer. So when you're prompted to, press the plus button to install it, and then you can exit back into Homebrew. So that's Priiloader installed now. So if your Wii isn't booting, you can simply power it down, power it back on again, but hold down the reset button while it's powering up, and that will then start Priiloader running. But of course, at the moment, we don't have anything wrong with our Wii, so we can just use the Priiloader Launcher app from the Homebrew screen. So once in there, we need to scroll down until we get to the System Menu Hacks option. Now, I did find that the navigation on this main menu was incredibly slow. So as I press the down button, it doesn't register a button press for about 30 seconds between each one. So do be aware that could be a problem. I haven't seen it before, but in this particular installation, mine wasn't working very well. Once I got past this screen, everything was fine. But this particular screen here, it just gets very annoying. But just stick with it. Now, there are a number of hacks you can apply to your Wii from this menu. Now, please do not just simply play around with these hacks. Only turn on hacks that you understand and that you know what you're doing with. If you just mess around, you can actually lock yourself out of your Wii. So have a look again in your ModMii guide. It does list ones in there it recommends you turn on. So again, the ones that most people will be turning on are they want to block disk updates, block online updates, region free everything. So region freeing everything means that you can play games from different regions, such as, well, for me, my Wii is a European Wii, so I can then play games from the US and Japan and so on. The 480p graphics fix in the system menu, that needs to be turned on. You can remove the deflicker. the WiiMMFI patch can be turned on, and then the remove no copy save file protection option. So once you've got those all enabled, just scroll down to the very bottom and save your settings, and then return to the main menu with the B key. Now, if you, like me, if you are using a hard drive for your USB storage, then it's a good idea to turn on the ignore standby option. So whenever you power down your Wii, quite often it goes into a standby mode with a little red LED on. If in that case, the hard drive will be kept powered on, and you will hear it just clicking away in the background as it spins. Again, if you're using a mechanical drive. So putting this option on will stop it from doing that when you're not using your Wii. So you'll find this setting in the Priiloader settings screen down the bottom here. You just go in there and turn that option on, then save your settings, and then exit out. And then we can exit out into Homebrew again. So we're now on to the last step of the actual hacking process, and that is to install some things called WAD files. So these are packages of code that can update, alter, or expand the software inside of your Wii console. Now, if you remember back to the ModMii setup app, it did ask about updating the iOS system for your Wii menu, etc. And this is where these changes will be made, along with some other iOS and custom iOS drivers that will basically allow the Wii to talk to the USB drive and so on. So to install the WADs, we need a WAD manager, and ModMii has packaged up a version of YAWM, which is yet another WAD manager for us to use. So from the Homebrew screen, navigate across to the right page, and that will then show up the YAWM application launcher. Select that to start the application. So we're going to need to tell it where we saved our WAD files, and ModMii will have put them onto your SD card if you're using one, or it could be on your USB drive if you haven't set up an SD card. So YAWM looks basically for a special WAD folder and then looks for WAD files inside of that on your drive. So we should now see a list of the available files. Now your ModMii guide will tell you how many WADs it created for you. So if you now hold down the plus key for a couple of seconds, that will select all the available WAD files. And this will then tell you how many files you've selected. So this number should match up with the number in your guide. Now, if you've added some of your own WADs or some were left over from a previous install, you should really go through and unselect the ones not in your guide, or deselect all and then go through installing them all one by one. Installing bad WADs or one that are incompatible with other WADs can brick your Wii, so do play safe and just install the WADs that were listed in your guide. Now, once you're happy with your selected WADs, press the A button again, and that will then install them. So after the WADs have been installed, press any key to continue, and then press the Home button to exit out of YAWM. And congratulations, your Wii is now fully soft modded. So the rest of your ModMii guide is going to talk you through setting up your games using USBLoaderGX and Nintendont. Now, I've made some separate guides and videos for each of these emulators, so I'm going to leave you to have a look through those videos, and again I'll put some links in the description down below. But just to help you out, ModMii has actually done the majority of the work for you. All the files you need have already been downloaded and your USB drive has been set up for you. You'll also find the Wii Backup Manager software in the Copy to USB folder inside the Program Files area, and the GameCube Backup Manager in the Program Files area in the Copy to SD folder. So you don't need to download and install those, but you will need them when you come to set up your games. Now, Nintendont, which is the GameCube emulator, has been installed, and you can start that from the main Homebrew screen. You'll see it sitting there as one of those little apps. Now, you will need to set that up though, so do please refer back to my Nintendont video. USBLoaderGX has also been installed, and ModMii has actually added a channel to the main Wii menu to let you start it up directly from there. And if you noticed on mine, I did have another USBLoaderGX icon, and that channel is actually from my own setup, which I think looks a little bit nicer than the ModMii version. So again, follow through my video to see how to set that up. Now, if you installed it to your SD card rather than your USB drive, you'll also be able to access it from the Homebrew menu. Now again, this will need to be set up and you'll need to connect it up with Nintendont, because USBLoaderGX will actually let you play both your Wii games and your GameCube games from one interface. Once you do that, and again that's all detailed in my videos, you'll then be able to launch any of the games in your games library directly from the Wii menu, so you'll have access to the full catalogue of Wii and GameCube titles. And again, do check the description then for a link to my USBLoaderGX setup video. So from there, well, you're really free to add whatever homebrew software you want. So the Wii can emulate a whole range of consoles and home computers, basically up to sort of like the Nintendo 64 and PS1. So I have made a video walkthrough to show you the general process on how you can go and find these emulators and install them. So do check that out as well. And of course, don't forget to visit the project pages on my main bytesandbits.co.uk website for more information on all of this, and also some help on how to get hold of the actual game files themselves. So I hope you found this video useful and enjoyable. Please do click that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more gaming, making and coding tutorials. I look forward to seeing you again in another video very soon, and bye for now. For more games programming, electronics projects and retro gaming, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my website.